tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The law, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival. Here is another big film from this film festival. Something that I'm not sure if I thought this would be an awards caliber type of film or just a fun war type of film that we've been getting a lot lately. And this one is Devotion. And here's the quick synopsis of it. Elite fighter pilots Jesse Brown and Tom Hunter become the U.S. Navy's most celebrated wingmen during the Korean War, starring Jonathan Majors, Glen, Powell, and Christine Jackson. This is directed by J.D. Dillard. So, Devotion is, and the reason why I said I don't know if this, I was expecting an awards type of film, is because even from early trailers I saw of it, it kind of looked like it was going to go down the path of like a Midway or Men of Honor. And this movie is like a balance between those two, as we're introduced to Tom first, played by Glen Powell, as he arrives on the base, on a different Navy base, and he's introduced to all the fighter pilots, and then we meet Jesse, played by Jonathan Majors. Now, Jonathan Majors gives an extremely passionate performance here. I mean, at times, his performance doesn't feel like it belongs in this movie. It feels like this performance should be in a grander scale of a movie here. He has this scene where he's saying all these negative things to himself, and it's a close-up shot. And all the emotion evoked in that close-up shot was almost better than all the emotion from any other actor in the rest of the movie. It was super passionate here. And Jonathan is really good at that. He's really good at being this passionate character. He's really good as Jesse Brown in this film. Even the touching moments with him and Christine Jackson, who plays his wife in the film, when they're at home and just them spending time with one another, it really works wonders for the film. Glen Powell is solid in this film. I don't think it's much for him to do here, and you kind of wanted more, possibly him and Jonathan to be able to play off each other more, but Jonathan's character is just so big in this film, it is hard for Glen Powell's character to play off of him here. And that's what you kind of need in these lower scaled type of war action movies, is because, you know, the action is going to be the action, but in all honesty, Devotion came out during the wrong year. Like, this is a wartime film about aviation and flyers and pilots and all this stuff, and it's starring Glen Powell, and he just happened to be in possibly the biggest movie of the year, playing a fighter pilot in scenes that look out of this world. So when you see him here, and when they try to convey like how great a pilot these two are, and we see the scenes with them flying these planes, it just doesn't work anymore. And I think it's strictly because it's so close. We're only a couple of months removed from Top Gun with Glen Powell. So you can't help but evoke that when you see him in this film. Me, on the other hand, again, I evoked Men of Honor from the moment I came in the door with this film. I thought this would be that type of film. And it's a little lesser than that. At times, it feels like it's drawn out, but it's not a long movie. It's a shade over 2 hours. While it could have been easily cut to an hour and 40 minutes, but it's a shade over 2 hours. A lot of it is, it's a lot of training exercises. It's a lot, they don't focus enough on the small moments, on the non-fighter pilot moments to make you care about any of that stuff happening here. Like, it's a whole group of fighter pilots. The only ones we truly know anything about is Jesse Brown and Tom. We know nothing about the rest of them. Like, we're not giving backstory on the rest of them. They're not really in it to give us anything else in it. There's a weird sequence with Elizabeth Taylor in it that felt so unnecessary for this movie, and just maybe like someone thought, hey, this would be a cool thing to put in here, but then it used that moment to give you tropes. You know, you're clearly going to have the soldiers that don't like the black guy, and the black guy has to defend himself, and someone's going to get drunk, and then the soldiers are going to fight out in public, and all. It led down so many pathways of things we've seen over and over and over and over and over again. And you wonder, like, okay, maybe if you focus more on the family aspect of it, more of the drama of what led Jesse, because that's what you kind of wanted. You wanted a story that showed us him becoming a fighter pilot and then him getting to this point. But instead, we're dropped right into him already being that person. He's already a fighter pilot. So we don't know any of the struggle it took for him to climb up. I mean, it's told to us in the film, but we don't see it. And I think this is a film where it would have benefited from just being a story about Jesse and him building up to being this person, because that's the part of history that people want. Didn't need to know about any of the other stuff happening there. And matter of fact, the stuff with the Korean War here is so short. You literally could have gave us the Jesse backstory, ample backstory, and went on with it with there. Because again, you didn't even give Tom to me the appropriate backstory to make us even care about him, besides the point that Glen Powell is playing him. So that was a missed moment. This film feels like a bunch of missed moments packaged together as this touching tribute to a fighter pilot without really showing us too much of the things he went through to become the man that he became. And that into itself was a huge missed opportunity for this film. But Jonathan is great in it. Glen Powell is serviceable in it, and what they give him to do in it. The direction is pretty solid in it. It's not spectacular. Nothing that's going to stick out to you. Nothing else really at all sticks out in this movie. This is the Jonathan Major show. He's great in this. He's great, but he's gonna be great in anything. But you have to elevate the work to the greatness of the lead, and it doesn't happen here. And because it doesn't happen here, it leaves you feeling like you missed out on what could have been a great movie, and instead you got midway to like something very much a mid type of war action type of film. But Devotion, brought to you from the Toronto Film Festival, out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Devotion a 6 out of 10. It's enough action. It's enough action beats to keep you thrilled. It's more than enough action beats to keep you thrilled for this film. That a lot of people are going to really like it. It's still a great story. It's something that you wish you would have got more history of Jesse and the things he went through to become a fighter pilot. He's the first ever black aviation pilot for the Navy. Like, that's a story we need to know way more about, of what he went through to get to that point. And instead, we get dropped right into him being that character, and then we get dropped into his idiosyncrasies. Like, it's just a missed opportunity. That's the best way to put it. I wanted so much more from this movie, because this man deserved, to me, a far-reaching story. How he came up, where he went to, what he went through to become a fighter pilot. All of that stuff was necessary. And this movie decided none of it was necessary. And we're just going to show you as they are advancing to the Korean War and skip everything else that would be good and important in between. Just a missed opportunity to make a great movie. Instead, we get a pretty decent one that you can check out and let us know what you think about it. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.